These 6'8 demigod builds have taken over NBA 2K26. Everyone wants to be TMac, I mean who wouldn't? So today I'll be giving you my take on the 6'8 demigod that's running rampant right now. My version replicates TRACY McGrady, who's one of the toughest 6'8 shot creators of all time, and he can truly do everything. From putting relentless pressure on the rim as a dominant slasher, to dancing with the rock as if he was Allen Iverson, crossing over defenders into buttery smooth jumpers. We get the best takeover in the game, which allows us to spin around and fade from 30 feet out. And with nearly maxed out speed and agility, we're a menace in passing lanes, and you can just fly all over the court for easy buckets and transition. These 6'8s are the most broken builds in the game right now, so let's take a look at how I did mine. Alright, we're going to start off here with Joe No's endgame 6'8 demigod, which is an incredible build. If you want LeBron with supercharged shooting, this is it right here. I love the cap value he gets on driving and standing dunk. We also get great value on the block, and this reminds me of my 2018 LeBron build, except we also get a 96 midi for Hall of Fame shifty shooter and a 93 point for deep bomber. Then of course when you use your badge perks, you can get all legend shooting badges along with Hall of Fame limitless range, and at this height that's going to be almost impossible to stop. But it's missing one thing if we want to take it to the next level offensively. Kobe famously said that TMac was his toughest matchup. Quote, "He could do everything I could do on the court, but he's 6'10". Literally everything. He had no weaknesses offensively or defensively, and he was a nightmare to guard. Kobe's talking about the guy who scored 13 points in 33 seconds, one of the most incredible moments in NBA history. And look, this build I'm about to show you is literally TMac. Stick around to the end and I got a special surprise for you. But back to what I was saying, we're missing one thing to basically turn this build into a 6'8 Kobe. Let's switch over to my build. Alright, here's what we got. As always, we're going to walk through every part of this build with clips to back it up, and at the end I'll share animations, badge perks, I'll talk about the Capbreaker Gameplan in case you don't have as many as I do, and we got a little bit of gameplay. I want to talk about all the tweaks I made to Joe's build, but first, let's talk about some of the things I kept the same. Shooting is identical, and we nearly have the same ability to handle the ball, except I dropped it down 1 for a future Capbreaker, and the 80 speed with ball is really nice at 6'8". Joe made the case for this attribute being very important simply for how it affects your player's ability to move around. He even puts plus 15 here with his takeover, so I did the same thing, and I have to agree, this makes the build feel super cracked. 93 dunk and gold posters is all you need to dunk on everyone, and this is one of my favorite parts of the build. TMac in his prime was an absolute monster attacking the rim. I put on his dunk package, and it really does feel like I can yam on anyone down there. He was a supreme athlete, so the 88 speed and 86 agility allows us to get a lot of free points in transition, but it's also the extra speed with ball that helps us beat defenders to the spot, and that's going to give us a huge green meter. Or when I know they're too small, I can just put my head down and posterize them even when there's 2 guys down there. That dunk rating also unlocks Hall of Fame Aerial Wizard, and you know who was the first player to throw it off the glass to himself? TMac. We can thank him for this move even being in the game, so I max +1 Aerial Wizard to Legend, and I'm living above the rim on this build. If you look up a compilation of NBA self alley-oops, half of them are going to be TMac. He actually did this in real games more than anyone else, and we're consistently looking for those here as well. This isn't just a flashy move to show off with. You'll see in these clips that I probably would have ended up with contested dunks that result in small meters if I tried it the old-fashioned way. Even in a half-court setting, I'm getting some of my cleanest looks by adding this to my combos, and it's one of the most satisfying ways to get a bucket. Throwing it off the glass is a creative solution, depending on the situation, and this has definitely been a huge strength for TRACY McGrady. One more thing related to the finishing, we get an 81 standing dunk with only 3 Capbreakers. This is the first slight adjustment we made to the build because Joe missed this on his version by only 1 point. He just went for bronze rise up, so if that's all you want, then it doesn't matter, but I figured we were so close to silver, might as well go for it. I love having this on the tall guard because the game will often give you bad catches on the break, and that's when standing dunk comes in real handy. If I didn't have it in situations like these, my player would go up with a weak ass take instead, and suddenly I'm raging. Instead, I feel like the elite finisher that TMac should be. This is something you could hold off on for future caps if you want, but I wanted to test it out early, and I do feel like it's worth it. If you're a slasher, you will not be disappointed, and dunking isn't even our highest rating. 96 midi is the highest you can go on a 6'8", and that's what I had on my Kobe build, except we also have a 93 point to go with it, and we're taller. This is the current meta for a reason, and I truly don't feel like there's a shot I can't take. I'll start with the threes because I've been talking all year about how I hate what they did with patch 2.0 and hop jumper threes, but at least go-to shots are still valid looks. I put on a lot of SGA's animations because not only do I love his go-to for creating threes, I also like how his moves combo together, and it's crazy to basically take that build and the bag I learned with it and translate it to a taller, better shooter. Not to mention that we also get Deep Bomber, which obviously changes the game, and TMac's base is really good at reducing contests because he jumps so high on his shot. I've also been trying Booker's pull-up, which blends with his dribble style, another reason to go 80 speed with ball, and check out how smooth these fading threes are. I stopped taking these ever since the nerf, but honestly, this shot that used to feel impossible is going in more than on any of my other builds. If you have a 6'8 with legend shooting badges, try Booker pull-up and let me know what you think. I'm curious if it's just me. Now everyone knows we're a huge threat from behind the arc, so Kobe's jumping. He said this was his toughest matchup, and we get him up again for the tough and one. We're going to take a look at some mid-range buckets now where TRACY makes his living. Right here we hit the TMac aggressive breakdown into the quick cross launch and fade. As I was just saying, Booker's dribble style and pull-up blend together so smooth, so I put those on just for this move here. I've also been trying out some DeRozan hop jumpers just to switch it up, and this one hopping right is really nice. That one goes well with SGAs behind the back, and a good counter to that is letting the animation play out a bit before snapping into a Kuzma spin jumper. I feel like I found a good set of animations for this build, although I am still messing around with a few other moves, but I'll talk more about that when we get to the animations. Now let's finally cover the biggest difference between my build and Joe's. His is a LeBron build, so the higher pass accuracy makes sense, but TMac wasn't really known for that, and I'm going for the most lethal scoring guard possible, so that means I need post control. I used a max +2 to push post fade phenom to Hall of Fame, and combining that with the high mid-range turns this into 6'8" Kobe. Something Joe can't get on his build is TMac's post go-to, and this is one of the sauciest moves in the game. People jump at it all the time, and it's an easy animation to cancel, so adding this to our bag makes us even harder to guard. I've also been trying out Kevin Huerter's post fade, and that's another beautiful shot. I love how high he jumps before shooting, just like TMac would, and it's quick. When we combine those two animations together, we can get some really clean looks. Now I'm not gonna lie, that specific animation does feel a bit harder to time, but thankfully, Huerter's post fade also has some Pro 2 animations baked in as well. That turnaround is nearly unguardable, and if you're familiar with Pro 2 post fades or KDs, they're all pretty much the same. There are a few animations in here that makes it different, like this nice shimmy fade going left, so to have all those moves in the same package makes Huerter post fade a new favorite of mine. But we still have the all-reliable Kobe post hop, and these are easier than ever to time because we're taller, with a lot of the same ratings as my Kobe build. And as Mr. Bryant said himself, TMac has the same skill set as him, so you can see how the post game really takes this build to another level for me. I'm scoring all over the court, because TMac is too quick to stay in front of, he can fly, but he's also a certified bucket whether it's a 3 or a 2, and when all else fails, he can feast with his back to the basket. If you're not seeing it by now, I don't know what else to tell you. Actually, I do. This is the best perimeter defender on the roster. 88 perimeter D, and when I finally hit Vet 2, I'll be using those 3 Capbreakers to unlock Gold On-Ball Menace at 91. Right now I got my max +2 pushing it to Hall of Fame, and I'm clamping everyone, especially because of that speed and agility. I'll use my seasoned Capbreakers to get higher block, which gets to a 74 on my next one for Bronze Paint Patroller, and 78 for Silver High Flying Denier with one more. 73 Steal and Silver Interceptor is cracked when you're moving this fast. Check out this game from the other night. I get a Pluck Steal for my first one of the game, which results in a windmill, but later that same game, I'm still ripping them off the inbounds pass, and these guys probably thought I had a 99 steal rating because I finished this game with 7 steals. I only clipped the on-ball plucks in that one, but of course I get a lot of lane steals as well because I'm on a glitchy build. We're too tall to be moving like this, and the more I've played on it, the more I realize why everyone made 6'8s this year. I'm also looking forward to upgrading my block, but even at a 69, you're able to meet him right at the top. Now let's move on to the last tweak I made for TMac. Joe upgraded his offensive rebound to a 69, which is one short of Silver Box Out Beast, but he couldn't go any higher because he would have had to increase the weight, which reduces your potential speed and agility. I personally value defensive rebound more because I just play casually in the rec, unlike Joe who's playing Comp Pro-Am where they make every shot. So although it's a more expensive attribute, I prioritize D board instead of O board on my version of the build. We got that Silver Box Out Beast at 70, and the trade-off is we had to drop the speed and agility by 1 point each. But if you are okay with lower rebound, you could drop it down to a 60, and this will let you get that speed back and get even more agility than Joe's version. And if you copy all these stats exactly the same, you'll still keep all those amazing Capbreaker values we got on dunk and block. Honestly, if I could go back, I'd probably do this instead, but I'm not complaining with mine. You know we had to get shades of 2003 Tracy McGrady, his peak scoring year where he averaged 32 points per game, and we made our version of the two-way ISO sniper. If you're curious about the lower rebound version, you still get shades of Prime TMac, and either way, there's no big weaknesses to report. Now I've been cooking in the rec with this build. Let me switch over to some quick highlights I wanted to show y'all. We can see how it all comes together with a handful of clips from the same game. So we're gonna pick up right in the middle of the second quarter in this first one. I felt like getting a bucket with TMac's breakdown combo, hanging the ball before crossing it over into that D-boot pull-up. Ethical buckets to start here, and we're just getting warmed up. Next possession, we have this guy ISO'd at the top again. We know he can't guard T-Mac, gonna hit the snatch behind the back right into the DeRozan hop to the side, grabbing his teammate and getting another ethical look. In the third now, we got a defensive highlight coming up. You can see we have two-way active, so I'm jumping in that lane. Look how fast we're moving. He can't catch me. Windmill over Blake Griffin, and we're up to 16 points. Now we're going to skip ahead to the fourth quarter. Our team's down by 7. Shot clock is ticking. Hezzy crossing it over. Don't jump. Hey! That's a T-Mac poster on the whole team. But we're still down 6 with only a couple minutes left in the game. We got to find a way to close the gap. McGrady's taking it up the court. In and out cross. Down the lane. Throwing it off the glass. That's vintage. Man, like I said, I'm using that move often, even in clutch moments, because right there, I definitely would have gotten a bad dunk meter, but you know T-Mac got the creative solutions. Now pause it right here. We're down by 5 with only 23 seconds left in the game. We do have the ball, but it's a 2-possession game, so if the other team can just take care of the rock and hit some free throws, it should be over. But there's one guy you don't want to be up against in this scenario. His name is TRACY McGrady, and he will make something out of nothing. You do not want to leave him open, not even for a single look, because once he catches fire, no lead is safe. We got the AI inbounding the ball. Again, down 5 with 23 seconds left. Magic and LaMelo both setting screens at the top, freeing up the last guy who should be open. T-Mac knocks it down and cuts it to 2. Of course, we're looking to foul. We send Blake Griffin to the line. 19 seconds left, and he's going to make the first, but he blows the second. T-Mac's down there. LaMelo fires it to him, and they foul him on the shot. That's 3 free throws. McGrady now has a chance to tie the game. He's not nervous like Blake. He wants to take these free throws because this is his moment and he knows it. T-Mac calmly knocks them down, and that little sharpshooter icon next to him spells trouble. They're scrambling and scraping at this point, taking a terrible shot. Magic rips it down. Just find T-Mac.
Here comes McGrady. No timeouts remaining. McGrady for the win. Yes! 1.7 to go. San Antonio with no timeout. Here's Parker, and the Rockets steal a game from the Spurs. TRACY McGrady with an incredible performance down the stretch.
Goosebumps every time. Let's take a look at the Capbreaker game plan for that second build I shared, because the more I think about it, I definitely wish I made this one, so I'm going to suggest you go for that instead. Especially because I am running the break more often than crashing for boards, but if you want the 70 rebound for Park, or maybe you want to be more flexible as a small forward or power forward, then you can definitely copy my exact build. I'm going to say you'll need, at the very least, 6 Capbreakers for a well-balanced build, get your contact animations at 87 dunk and bronze high-flying denier at 68 block, then from there, it's really up to you. I'm playing perfectly fine defense with 88 perimeter, and like I mentioned, that's a great spot for my Vet 2 caps, but if you feel like you need it more than the standing dunk, for example, you can definitely switch those around. I think it's pretty cool that we can also hit a 90 standing dunk with 2 more caps, so that's something I'd definitely consider if you want to lean more into the finishing. And with the type of shots I take, I'd probably throw a couple on 3-point to max it out at a 92. Here's my current setup for my badge perks and my takeovers. After playing with plus 15 speed with ball, I think it'll be hard to go back, but I'm curious to try out 99 3-point with deep bomber, or maybe even speedster to get extra glitchy. Here are most of the animations I was using in those clips, but the ones I've been occasionally switching up are my go-to shot, hop jumper, and escape move. That one deep spin around 3 was Zach LaVine's go-to, and that clip was my first time trying it out, so I'm definitely going to test it out more. And then LaVine's hop jumper is just a great package that I can always count on. I use it on Kobe and Melo, and I'd say it'd be a great fit for T-Mac as well. KD's escape is the most recent change because I want a consistent move that blends into Kuzma's spin jumper. I mentioned SGA's behind the back, but I've been struggling to activate it lately, so this forward KD escape is a move I've covered before, and it looks like I should be able to blend it right into the spin jumper. Tough move. I'll leave you guys with the dunk animations. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I'm going to be taking a vacation over the next couple weeks, so it might be a little longer till my next upload, but let me know what you guys want to see when I get back. Till then, y'all. Peace.
Dude is unbelievable, man.
How so?
Unbelievable. Because he could do everything. I mean, I think I told him one time, I said, bro, you could do everything I could do on the court, but you were 6'10". Literally everything. I mean, he had no weaknesses, offensively or defensively. And he was a nightmare to guard.